In this video we'll show you how we can drill some holes around a tube or a bar using the Rotary Axis. So the first thing is to start off the CAD system. So we'll start a new drawing, and basically we just need to create points which will be turned into a drill pattern. So there's various ways to do that. The simplest way, if the holes are on the center line of course, is to use the point command first and then use the typed input window down here. Now when you're using this window, the dimensions that you type in can be incremental, which is the default, or they can be absolute. So if you switch on absolute and you switch on the datum, then anything that you type in will become absolute dimensions from that datum position. So the first one is, say, x25, and then x50, and say x65. Okay, so those are the points that we've created. So there's 3 of them in absolute units. As I say, if you want to use incremental, then you can unselect that, and then the dimensions become incremental from the last position you worked on. So we'll stick with those 3 holes, and then we'll create a pattern. So we go into NC, the datum there, so this is going to be the end of the bar and the holes will be coming this way. If you're going the opposite way, then obviously the holes will be over here. So we need to create a pattern. So we're creating a pattern, and we need to indicate the first hole in the pattern. So this is creates a drill hole pattern. The Z surface here, the work surface, needs to be the radius of the bar, and the depth of the holes is measured from there. Okay, so that's the first hole in the pattern. This is the second one, and when you want to indicate the last hole in the pattern, as the help says at the bottom here, plus the shift key if this is the last point in the pattern. So it doesn't know how many positions are in your pattern until you hold down the shift key and click, and then that finishes off that pattern. Okay, so we've got 3 drill holes there, so let's save this drawing away, and I'll call it tube 2. So we take that through into machining, into the milling module. Okay, just check on our tool change position, make sure that this is above the radius of the bar. Okay, in this case it is. So those are the 3 drill positions. So let's define a drill. So we'll say we'll just have a standard drill, and we'll select that tool for use, set the spindle speed and the feed rate, switch the coolant on if we want to, and then we'll just produce a drill pattern. So we use drill, let's have a peck drill. It picks up the work surface and the depth of the holes from the drawing, but if you need to change it, then you can do here. Let's have, say, 3 pegs. Okay, so that's created just a simple drill pattern along the x-axis. So we now want to switch on the rotary table. So we index the rotary table, and we're using the a-axis because it's parallel to the x-axis, and we'll type in 90 degrees and we'll make that incremental, and you'll see why in a moment. So that sets up the rotary axis. Now we need to create another drill pattern. The easiest way to do this is to highlight it and right click and say copy, click somewhere else down here, right click and say paste. So we've got the first drill pattern, indexes the rotary table 90 degrees and then drills it again. Now what we can do is just copy those. So if we click on the index, hold down the shift key, and then go to the drill operation, right click and say copy, and then right click and say paste, right click and say paste. So we've now got first drill rotate, second drill rotate, third drill rotate, fourth drill. And because we made the rotary command incremental, then it will just move incremental from the last position. So now we can go into the simulator, and from the list you want to choose the Rotary Axis simulator. So that calls up the interim simulation module. We want to go to stock, and we want to define our sizes, and we're going to have a bar. It's in the x-axis, so the diameter of the bar in this case is 50, the length of the bar is whatever you want it to be, and the face is 100 millimeters again. So this is the end face, whereabouts that is. If we want to have a bore, we can have that as well. So let's have, say, 40, length 100, length 100. When you create a stock in the simulator from defining sizes, pardon me, what it does is it saves this as an STL file. So the next time you come into it, you don't have to enter these sizes again. So that calls up the simulator. Pardon me. So we're in the simulator now, and the one thing that you do want to check on is that you want to make sure that the setting up here is the focuses on the machine. If you don't, the tool will move and the bar will stay where it is. So make sure you've got that, and then you can just simply play the Okay, so that's how to do that. If you wanted the bar to go back to its original position, then you'd simply add in another indexing command within the program. So that's how that works.